Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Burning. And this movie came out in 2018, and I've never seen it before, but I've heard good things. And I thought that this movie was good overall. My biggest issue with this movie would be the overall pacing and runtime. I felt as though it could have been 2 hours and not 2.5 hours, because there are scenes in this movie that just don't really move. And there are points where it's really slow, and it's not as if those parts of the movie that I didn't like were bad because they were slow. Like standalone scenes, they're bad because they're slow, like they're poorly shot, poorly acted scenes, and they have bad music in them. It's just they don't really need to be in the movie, and I didn't really feel as though I was benefited from it being slow, and those parts that I didn't care for being in the movie. It didn't really help me breathe in the scene or experience the tone or the environment that I hadn't been able to get out of any other scene in the movie. So it's really just pointless, and that much of the movie could have been removed, I feel. And there were parts, and sometimes those parts were kind of putting me to sleep because not necessarily because it was boring. This was like early on in the movie, but rather what I was listening to was kind of just relaxing, and I was starting to fall asleep a little bit, kind of difficult to pay attention, but eventually I was able to get back into it, and I like the story. I think it's a good story overall, and it's well executed. I like the characters, and there's interesting characters. They all feel very distinct, and the performances are really great. And I liked the introduction to certain characters, like the main girl. I liked a lot. I liked her introduction to the story. And there was also some really great sound design choices where one of the characters would just walk by like a store, and that store was like playing music, and you would only hear music out of like the right speaker because it's on, from his perspective, it's on his right side, and it's like following him behind him, and I thought that was well executed. The movie looks really nice, and there's some really beautiful shots in this movie, and I also like how our main character is usually far away from characters talking. Like he doesn't really feel as if he's a part of the group, and other characters are like really close to each other, and he's just kind of far away. And I thought that was a clever little detail that I found to be interesting. And there were also some really nice oneers in this movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I thought that they were well executed. And the ending to this movie was well executed and memorable to me as well. And that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. And there are points in this movie, without getting into spoilers, where it kind of plays with your mind as to like, did something happen? Did something not happen? Because we're given conflicting information, and I think that was intentional and that I liked. And without spoiling anything, there are tiny little details that they add to this story that make it unique and different from any other story that you would watch. Like you would be watching our main character following someone else, and in any other movie, they would get caught by someone else, and it would bring the story to a halt. But instead, that doesn't happen. It just gradually lets things play out, and there's a lot of tension because of that, and that I liked. And that's about all I have to say about Burning. It was a pretty good movie. I don't know if I'll see it again, mostly because it was just really slow. If I'm going to rewatch it, it won't be for a while, I feel. Like a couple of years, because it's just really long and slow, and I need to find a good excuse to rewatch it, and also maybe find someone to show it to who would like it. I can't imagine showing it to someone who would dislike it easily. Like, I think that this movie is pretty easy to get into if you can get over it being 2.5 hours long and also being a slower paced film. But you kind of have to find the right person to show it to. in my opinion. So, good movie. I would recommend you check it out. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Burning a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Burning, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.